So for today's menu, it's gonna be refining the so-called prettiest low-profile keyboard into a Japanese fusion cuisine. Well, as most of you might have already known, this is the Nuphy Air 75. It is said to be one of the best looking low-profile keyboard you can find in the market as of now. I have been using this keyboard for the past few months now, and I actually did a review as well as a comparison video of this particular keyboard with the reputable Keychrome K3 low-profile keyboard. You can check out the link above to find out more. But as for today's video, I'm going to basically show you how I do a makeover or so-called mod to the Nuphy Air 75 and personalize it to my liking. To begin with, the stock Nuphy Air keyboard is already pretty and refreshing with its bright color tones of keycaps and all. But personally, I prefer something more monochromatic with a quieter sound. Having said that, the switch that I've been using all this while is the red switch, which is meant to be linear and quiet, but in my opinion, the typing sound is still slightly loud. Or maybe this is also because I'm the type who puts a lot of pressure when it comes to typing. Anyway, without further ado, let's start with the ingredients. To start off, you definitely need the keyboard itself.
No shit, that's interesting.
As for the utensils, I have myself the zero size brush, a stem holder, a keycaps and switch puller, and a tweezer. For the sauce, I'm using a special sauce which is also the most common sauce that can go along with any menu. It's a Krytox 205 Grade 0. And last but not least, I'm going to use this XDA profile PBT keycaps that I got as the garnish. Before we start cooking, we'll need to do some preparation, which means I'm going to strip off all of the keycap switches as well as the stabilizers from the keyboard so that I can marinate these ingredients with the sauce. Oh, one more ingredient that I forgot to mention, which is the most important ingredient of all. It's called patience.
Patience. Use the force. Think.
As for the switches, remember to be very careful when taking them apart and reassembling them again. The parts inside are pretty fragile, so basically, just like cooking any other menus, you'll need to put in some love. First of all, I'm gonna marinate the springs with the special sauce. And to keep it simple, what I'm gonna do here is to marinate these springs all together at once by spreading a chunk of sauce into a small plastic seal wrap and pour in all these tiny long springs into it and give it a good thorough shake until the sauce is all evenly spread. Once it's done, I'm gonna leave them aside and let it marinate as I move on to the switches. What I'll do here is to spread the special sauce little by little with the brush so that I don't overdo it and ended up having a mushy dish. I'll just take a tiny bit of sauce and brush it onto all of the surface that has contact point between the bottom housing, the stem, and the top housing of the switches. Once done, I'll reassemble them and leave it aside for it to marinate. Now, all you gotta do is repeat the same pattern to the rest of the 83 switches.
Nani?
Yes, 83 switches. That's why I say patience is the most important ingredient in this menu.
One eternity later.
Once done spreading the sauce across all of the 84 switches, I'll carry on and do the same for the stabilizers.
Hell no! 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 I refuse. No! No!
Now, for the stabilizers, I'm gonna need to disassemble them first. You can actually see that the steps are pre-looped, or I'd say pre-marinated originally, but since this is my personalized menu, I'm gonna wipe off all of the original sauce and marinate it all over again using my own sauce to keep consistency in terms of taste. Now, before I spread any sauce onto the steps bar, I want to make sure that the bars are actually flat so that it doesn't make any weird rattling crunchy sound while I'm enjoying my meal. For the steps, I will spread a generous amount of sauce onto each corner of the steps to further reduce that rattling sound coming out of it. Now, do the same again for all the rest of the steps and we're almost done. Finally, we have come to the stage of cooking by mixing all of the ingredients that we've marinated and put them back all together. Do remember to always have a taste test before we cook any further. See if we need to add any more sauce or not. In my case, I find it perfect for my taste. Now, I'm all done with the cooking and finally, it's time to put the garnish and wrap it all up. For this dish, I'd like to make it like a Japanese fusion kind of dish, and that is why I choose this Enlightenment Japanese Root PBT keycaps as the garnish. Now, I finally finished with the dish. It's time for me to serve the dish and my wife will be the judge of it this time around. Shall it be a cuisine or a dish worth in the trash? Well, I can tell you that she's definitely not a great cook, especially in this kind of field, but she is an eater with a big appetite. A few days back, my wife has actually tried the original dish before I refine it and personalize the dish itself.
I think this keyboard looks neat and clean. And I like the color tone, it looks modern, and I like the size as well, although I'm still getting used to it at first because I think this is smaller and tighter than the one that I'm usually using in my laptop. So when I go down in the middle, I become more prone into making mistakes because the distance between the keys are a little bit tighter than my usual one. And the keys to me sounds crisp but not too loud, though I think the keycaps are a little too bouncy. Maybe I used to type in my laptop with softer keyboard. So if I use this keyboard, I need to press the key a little bit harder than I would on my laptop.
Now this time, she's gonna taste the refined dish. So this is it, the moment of truth.
I like the way the Japanese keycaps sound. It's very quiet. The caps are also comfortable, although they are taller, and maybe that's why I did many mistakes when typing. In terms of the looks, I think I like the Japanese one better with its beige gray color. Although I don't understand the Japanese characters in it, to me, the Japanese looks are closer to the looks of a hardcover book about mindfulness, and that's why I like it. But my overall experience, I would say I focus more on the typing experience, which I enjoy more from the modified one.
I'd say it's a mission accomplished. What do you think? Would you say it's a cuisine or a trash? Do let me know your thought down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I've made it, and thanks for sticking around till this very second. If you find this video helpful, do give a like, share, and consider subscribing. Feel free to drop your feedbacks about this video down below. You can also check my Instagram to get more updates or to reach out to me personally. And that's it. I'll see you again on the next